I've been gone for a minute, a month. My PC broke basically. Um, so at first I was just having random blue screens. Eventually they got so bad that it bricked my Windows install, and I had to reinstall Windows. But before I did that, I was talking to a group of people on Discord and asking like what I should do, and they recommended memtest86, so I ran it, and it came back with a couple hundred errors. So my RAM died, but that was only like the start. I had spare RAM from helping my brother upgrade his PC, so I just plugged that into my computer, and I got Windows installed again, and got set back up. And then I started experiencing crashes again, but I wasn't exactly sure what it was that time, and I was a little bit lost, so I was talking to the same Discord server again. We looked at different stress tests to run on my system to see what was causing the crashes, which were all a blue screen with WHEA uncorrectable error, which is Windows' way of saying that it thinks it's a hardware error. At first we suspected it was a power supply issue, so what we did first was I installed OCCT and ran their power test, and it ran fine for like half an hour. So then I was like, okay, I'll end the test now. I ended the test and immediately got a blue screen, which was very strange. And then, because I wasn't sure what happened, I tried it again. The exact same thing happened. So then I was like, okay, what did Windows spit out in the event viewer? And it was full of more WHA uncorrectable error, and I was just looking at all the details, and I saw that it mentioned memory hierarchy level 1 on a majority of the errors that had any information to spit out. I googled it, and memory hierarchy level 1 is CPU cache. So I was like, okay, now what? And after a while of trying other things like changing RAM timings and still experiencing crashes, I tried running Prime 95 with small FFTs, which is, according to the program, supposed to be extremely stressful for the CPU cache. Oh my goodness, let's jump. And I ran it, and it ran fine for like 20 minutes. And I was like, okay, now what happens if I end the test? And it crashed. And then it crashed trying to boot into Windows. And then it crashed trying to boot into Windows Automatic Repair. And then my BIOS stopped working for some reason. So I crashed my PC so hard with Prime 95 that it crashed 3 times. Luckily, I had the BIOS ready because I had just updated it, so I could just use my motherboard's BIOS flashback to fix it. And then, after a while of discussion and testing with that same Discord server, I turned off core boost for performance, meaning my CPU was permanently locked to its base clock speed of 3.8 gigahertz. And then I stopped experiencing any crashes whatsoever. The performance was, like, visibly slow, because CPUs kind of rely on their ability to boost to make things happen, and make things, like, make your system snappier with, like, opening programs and stuff. And I suspected that maybe, and also someone else, we suspected that maybe the error could have been that my CPU was extremely mad at the random, like, probably $15 8 gig stick of RAM it had in it. Well, the cheap pre-built system remnant stick of RAM that was in it before. And we suspected that maybe my CPU just hated that and could not operate with it. So while I was doing all this, I filled out the RMA form for my RAM and got it shipped, and it came back. And once it came back, I also had a new CPU cooler because my CPU cooler broke. which seemed unrelated at the time. But when I installed the new CPU cooler, which is just an NHD 15S, I stopped crashing all of a sudden with the old crappy RAM. My CPU was fine all of a sudden. Okay, why can't I make a 4-block jump? Did I forget how to play Minecraft in the month my PC was dead? No, I didn't. Okay. But even with the crappy RAM, my system was still functioning and like not crashing with boosting enabled after I swapped my CPU cooler. So then, and this happened like 2 days ago. So by now, everyone's just like, okay, there's something wrong, but we still have no idea what it is. But my PC was suddenly running fine, so I like ran a bunch of stress tests, like Prime 95, the OCCT one. I even ran OCCT's LinPack test because I watched the Linus Tech Tips video that showed that it is probably a better stress test, and none of them caused any crashes, and my thermals were better. So it's like, okay, now what? So now we're here. I'm using my PC fully operational, and it seems fine. Nothing is particularly wrong. I don't trust that it'll stay this way, but it seems fine. And the thing is, one of the members of the server has the same processor and case as I do, with actually a smaller cooler. And yet his CPU is running significantly cooler than mine. And we need to figure out what the differences between our systems are so that we can figure out what could be causing the discrepancy in temperatures. Okay, my brain stopped. So my brain is just dying right now. What the heck? So I had my PC all. What? Oh my goodness! Hypixel, let me out! I forgot how to get out of this. I'm matching. Oh, what the fuck? It's Hypixel. What the actual heck? Help. How did I get here? What? Huh? Where was I before? Anyway, yeah, so we're still confused as to what exactly to do. Because, like, my system is functioning now. Missed. And I used to be able to do double neos consistently. Now it takes me a couple tries. That's what happens when you stop playing for a month outside of your own control. Now my PC's working, but I really don't know what's up with it. It would be useful if I would land on this. And not jump over it. Like that. There we go. So I've put all this time into troubleshooting. I don't even know what the issue is still, because my whole system works fine now. With the CPU cooler and RAM swapped. Even though we really thought my CPU was dead, because one of the members of the server looked around and found that a lot of the a vast majority of the cases where the bug check codes matched mine were cases where people replaced their CPUs to fix the issue. I still don't know why the hell Hypixel teleported me into that wall. Hypixel's been like that recently, where if you get stuck on a trapdoor, after about 20 seconds, you will just get teleported somewhere completely random for literally no reason. I don't know what the hell is wrong with Hypixel to cause that. Because, like, glitching into the trapdoor, yeah, maybe the hitboxes got changed. But teleporting me, like, 40 blocks to the side where I hadn't been, and then teleporting me a second time? That's just the server is broken. My PC works, I think. And I've got a lot I want to do with it. Assuming it stays functioning and doesn't just break again. Wouldn't be surprised, though, to be honest. Like, there's always, like, a chain of 3 parts that are all mad at each other. Like, CPU, like, for example, CPU, RAM, and motherboard will all blame issues on each other. But all I know is that somewhere between the power supply and the CPU, there is a problem. Or at least that's the best guess. And the problem is not present at the moment, but it could just randomly start being an issue. Yeah, expect some, like, really nerdy stuff coming from my channel soon, involving a large amount of math in this game, which sounds like a very cursed combination, but I feel like it actually might be, like, a thing. And I want to start, like, just very closely examining things people don't seem to talk about that much, like player acceleration and movement mechanics on, like, a mathematical level. Because I feel like it would just be useful to have that information, at the very least. It seems like half the time when I turn midair, I just lose all of my momentum instantly, and I don't know what causes it. Like that, it felt like my momentum just died when I turned. When sometimes it doesn't. And I literally have not been able to observe the difference in my inputs when that happens. I find it so strange that Hypixel is this, like, broken, honestly. Like, I got teleported, like, 40 blocks to the side, just out of the blue, after getting stuck to something. In the past, what would happen is I would get stuck, and then I would just fall and get unstuck. And that sounds like what should happen, but instead I'm just getting sent to the moon. I hate it when parkour things on Hypixel have... Oh god, not again. Well, I'm somewhere now. Where am I? Oh, I'm back. Well, I'm stuck in purgatory. I'll be perpetually reset to level 161. Okay, I don't think I'm ever gonna finish this parkour at this rate because I'm gonna get stuck in a trapdoor again. And then get stuck, so I'm just gonna go to the lobby. I have had some PC troubleshooting adventures. And they're not over yet. I still don't know what's going on. But I can make videos. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.